The man from Taured. Imagine a world where your entire identity, your very homeland, simply vanished from existence. A place that, according to every map, every government, and every history book, has never ever been. Now, imagine holding a passport perfectly legitimate, issued by a country you've always known, only to be told it's a forgery. Because that country doesn't exist. This isn't fiction. This is the chilling true story of a man who arrived from a place called Taured. A man whose journey through time and space remains one of history's most baffling unsolved mysteries. In 1954, at a bustling airport in Tokyo, this man stepped off a plane and into a nightmare that would challenge everything we thought we knew about reality. The arrival and initial confusion. It was a sweltering July day in 1954 at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Amidst the usual flurry of passengers disembarking from a flight originating in Europe, a well-dressed, middle-aged man approached the customs desk. He presented his passport, a seemingly ordinary document, but one that would soon plunge the officials into utter disbelief. The passport identified him as a citizen of Taured, a country no one at the airport nor anywhere in the world had ever heard of. Customs officers, accustomed to handling countless nationalities, initially assumed a misunderstanding or perhaps a new, unrecognized micronation. But as they scrutinized the document, its authenticity appeared flawless, from the official stamps to the intricate watermarks. Yet Taured remained an enigma, completely absent from every global atlas, map, and official registry. The man, speaking fluent French, calmly insisted that Taured was indeed his homeland, situated between France and Spain, with a history spanning over 1,000 years. The map and the impossible origin. Confused by the man's insistence, customs officials produced a large world map and asked him to point out his country. Without hesitation, the man pointed to the region between France and Spain. But as his finger landed on the map, his expression shifted from confidence to utter shock. The area he pointed to was occupied by the Principality of Andorra. "It should be here," he exclaimed, his voice trembling with a mix of anger and fear. He claimed Taured had existed for a millennium and that he had never heard of Andorra. To further prove his story, he opened his briefcase and produced official documents. Bank statements from a Tauredian bank, business papers for a meeting in Tokyo, and even a driver's license issued in his mysterious homeland. Everything looked authentic, yet everything was impossible. Realizing they were dealing with something beyond a simple documentation error, the authorities decided to detain the man for further investigation, under the watchful eye of armed guards. The investigation and the high-security hotel. Despite the man's growing frustration and his claims of being a frequent traveler to Japan, the authorities were at a deadlock. His documents were too perfect to be fake, yet his country was non-existent. To solve the mystery, Tokyo officials decided to keep him under close watch while they contacted his supposed employers and the bank listed in his papers. They escorted the man to a nearby high-security hotel. To ensure he wouldn't vanish, 2 armed immigration officers were stationed directly outside his room on the 15th floor. The room had only one entrance, and the windows were sealed shut, overlooking the busy streets of Tokyo far below. The man was tired, confused, but seemingly resigned to wait for the morning to clear up what he called a monstrous misunderstanding. He was checked in, the door was locked, and the guards settled in for a long, quiet night. The vanishing. The following morning, the sun rose over Tokyo, but the mystery was about to deepen in a way no one could have predicted. The 2 guards, who had remained vigilant outside the door all night, knocked to check on their guest. There was no answer. When they finally entered the room, their blood ran cold. The man was gone. The room was empty. There was no sign of a struggle, and more importantly, no possible way out. The door had been guarded every second, and the windows, 15 floors above the street, remained firmly sealed from the inside. Even more baffling, all of the man's personal belongings, his mysterious passport, his bank records, and his briefcase, had also vanished from the high-security room. It was as if the man from Taured had never existed at all, leaving behind only a trail of impossible questions and a room that held no secrets. Theories and speculations. The sudden and inexplicable disappearance of the man from Taured sent shockwaves through the Japanese government and intelligence agencies. Despite extensive searches, no trace of him was ever found. His case quickly became a subject of hushed whispers and wild speculation. Was he a time traveler, accidentally displaced from his own era? Was he from a parallel dimension, a world where Taured genuinely existed between France and Spain, somehow crossing into ours? Or was he a highly skilled illusionist, perhaps part of a sophisticated espionage plot, using an elaborate ruse to simply vanish? The lack of any logical explanation fueled countless theories, each more fantastic than the last. To this day, the archives of Tokyo hold files on the man from Taured, a testament to an event that defied all known scientific and human understanding, leaving us with only questions and the chilling thought of what lies beyond our perception of reality. Similar cases and pop culture influence. The case of the man from Taured isn't entirely isolated, though its specifics remain unique. Throughout history, there have been scattered, unconfirmed accounts of individuals claiming origins from non-existent places or experiencing inexplicable shifts in their personal reality. While none match the detailed documentation and dramatic disappearance of the Taured man, these anecdotal parallels hint at a broader phenomenon, perhaps whispers of other realities brushing against our own. Furthermore, this enigmatic incident has profoundly influenced popular culture. From science fiction novels and mysterious urban legends to online forums dedicated to unexplained phenomena, the story of the man from Taured has become a modern myth. It serves as a potent symbol for the unknown, inspiring countless fictional works and continuing to spark debates among ufologists, quantum physicists, and armchair detectives alike, keeping the legend alive. Scientific perspectives and the multiverse hypothesis. For many scientists, particularly those working in theoretical physics, the Taured incident, if true, presents a fascinating, albeit unproven, case study for the multiverse hypothesis. This theory suggests that our universe is just one of an infinite number of universes, coexisting parallel to each other. In such a scenario, the man from Taured could conceivably be a dimension jumper, an individual who, through some unknown anomaly or perhaps an advanced technology, inadvertently slipped from his reality into ours. His Taured might be a perfectly real nation in an adjacent universe. This perspective attempts to rationalize the impossible with advanced theoretical frameworks, moving beyond simple magic or supernatural explanations. While no definitive proof exists, incidents like his provide intriguing thought experiments for physicists exploring the very fabric of reality and the potential for other dimensions just beyond our grasp. Philosophical implications and the nature of reality. Beyond the scientific theories, the man from Taured's story forces us to confront profound philosophical questions about the very nature of reality. What if our perception of the world is not as absolute as we believe? What if history, geography, and even our personal memories are merely constructs within a specific reality, susceptible to unseen influences or alterations? The incident challenges our understanding of identity itself. If a person can genuinely come from a non-existent place, what defines belonging? It compels us to consider the fragility of our consensus reality and opens the door to existential ponderings. Are there countless Taureds out there, just beyond the veil of our awareness? This chilling thought experiment pushes the boundaries of our imagination, inviting us to question everything we take for granted about existence. Modern theories and contemporary discussions. Decades after his disappearance, the legend of the man from Taured continues to fascinate and evolve in the digital age. Modern theorists, armed with new understanding in areas like quantum mechanics, string theory, and even digital simulations of reality, offer fresh perspectives. Some propose that the man was an unwitting participant in a highly sophisticated, perhaps extraterrestrial, experiment in interdimensional travel. Others speculate about glitches in the matrix of our reality, suggesting that the fabric of space-time itself momentarily frayed, allowing him to slip through. Online communities fiercely debate every detail, analyzing old documents, searching for similar anomalies, and adding new layers to the mystery. The story has transcended its origins as a cold case in Japanese archives to become a global phenomenon, a benchmark for unexplained phenomena, constantly reinterpreted through the lens of emerging scientific thought and a collective human desire to understand the impossible. Conclusion and the lingering enigma. The case of the man from Taured remains one of the most compelling and confounding mysteries of the 20th century. With no body, no explanation, and no resolution, it continues to challenge our understanding of what is possible. Was he merely a fraudster who orchestrated an elaborate disappearance, despite the seemingly airtight security? Or does his story truly open a window into realms beyond our current comprehension? A glimpse into parallel universes, alternate histories, or even the very fabric of time and space being more fluid than we imagine. As we conclude our journey into this bewildering tale, one thing is certain. The man from Taured, wherever he truly came from and wherever he ultimately went, has left an indelible mark on the annals of the unexplained. His story serves as a constant, haunting reminder that perhaps the universe is far stranger and more mysterious than we could ever truly grasp. The question remains, what other Taureds lie hidden, waiting to emerge, challenging the boundaries of our known world?